Hey everybody, it's Sugar Bar Philosopher. Welcome back out to the channel. Today we got another exciting episode. We're going to be taking another look at some ammunition for the 460 Rowland. This time we're looking at some offerings from Wilson Combat. We've got the FNX Tactical chambered in 460 Rowland, one of the most powerful semi-auto handguns in the world. Let's get to shooting. Okay, so what are we talking about? Again, we're talking about the 460 Rowland, which is a barrel and compensator attached or swapped out, and a spring system swapped out on this FNX Tactical. I did not modify this gun. I bought it this way from the manufacturer, 460 Rowland themselves. Today, I am going to be testing out a couple of different rounds. We've tested out a Whisperer round from 460 Rowland. We've tested out 3 or 4 different types of hollow points. 2 or 3 different types of hollow points from Underwood and from Buffalo Bore. Now we're going to be testing out some ammunition from Wilson Combat. They have a 230 grain XTP and a 200 grain XTP. So we're going to be testing that out. We're going to see what type of velocities we get. We're going to see what it does in gel. We're going to see what kind of accuracy, if those 30 grains make a difference in this bullet. Hope everyone has some fun today because they were shooting big bores. Let's get to shooting. Well, I was just thinking that this is probably going to come around the 4th of July. One thing I like to do around the 4th of July is I like to shoot my big bore guns. What better gun to shoot around the 4th of July than the 460 Rowland? What gun says America more than the 460 Rowland? We got the 45 ACP, won 2 world wars, dominated many of our sidearms for the military for many, many decades. And yet someone said, I can do better than that. Hold my beer. Well, I mean, that's basically what they said. And they built this 460 Rowland. That's pretty cool. The other thing that's going through my head is, I don't know why, but I like big bores and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. All right, sorry. This is not why people watch my channel. Here we go. This is the 200 grain bullet from Wilson Combat. Should be going 1350 is what I think the box is saying. Let's see what we get here. Pennsylvania. Not quite 1350, 1291. They said on a 5.5 inch barrel. I think this is a little bit shorter than that barrel. So 1291. 1330. That's pretty good. 1303. And 1336. Again, pretty good. I would like to have one more round in there for a 5-shot group. Let's just load one more up, see what it gives us. And 1315, that's a min of 1291, a max of 1336. That's not a bad standard deviation. 767 energy foot-pounds. That's kind of like a little bit extra spicy. Usually don't pass much over 700, 730 for 10 millimeters. So extra spicy 10 millimeter. Would like to see that up a little bit higher, but hey, that's what we're getting. We're testing this ammunition. Let's test now the 230 grain, see what it gives us. Okay, so we have the 230 grain round, and yeah, we'll see what it does on the chronograph. 1118 supposed to be doing 1200. 1181. 1174. 1198. And 1205. So we just got one over. I think, you know, that's what those are loaded out to be. So again, the energy foot-pound 742, again on the spicier end of a 10 millimeter. I'm hoping for a little bit more, but that's about what that box is going to give you. Even that's what they printed on. They said 5.5 inch barrel. It's closer to a 5 inch barrel. So this is totally within the range of acceptable for performance. They're advertising what they are giving, is my opinion. Let's go see, though, what the XTP bullet does in the gel. It may do a little bit better at these slower velocities. So let's go take a look at that. Okay, well, we're going to start off with the 200 grain. See if we can get this in the right spots in the gel. I've got a new gel block up front. I've got an old gel block in back. I don't think these will penetrate much past the first gel block. I think they're going to expand, but we have it back there just in case we need to catch it. All right, that's a pretty nasty one. Let's go down a little bit lower. Whew, that's another nasty one. Let's go down range and see what these 200 grain projectiles are doing. Okay, we're just going to take a quick look at this. I'm going to try to use it without holding it because I'm shaking it too much. You can see there was a huge explosion in that first one, all the way out to the 3-inch mark. There's petals and leaves and everything going like that. And then a very large bullet, very well expanded down to the 13, 14-inch mark. Again, for a self-defense round, this is fantastic. The second round did much the same. Exploded at the 2 to 3 inch mark and continued doing a ton of damage all the way down to the end. Pretty straight linear expansions. I'm going to show some things on the top angle. Here is that explosion that happened here. Not sure how well you can see it. We saw some projectile fragments came all the way down to this 10-inch mark and left the gel here. Others at the 8-inch mark. Most of them stopped at the 3-inch mark, but these projectiles are just awesome. Okay, so now we have the 230 grain projectile. Let's see what we capture in that. Looks like we shot a little high, and again, we had some fragments leave out. Let's shoot one more. All right, think we got a good capture on that. Let's go down range and see what we got. All right, let's just take a quick look. So the first one I hit back here, it skipped along the top and then eventually left the block down at around the 13-inch mark. It didn't quite get some of the expansion. I can feel in the gel. I think some of the particles left it. So that's why we shoot 2. We got another one that I think just did tremendous damage. It didn't fragment and shoot things off, but it lost like the 200 grain ones, so it's going just a little bit slower, got a little bit deeper of a penetration, and got, you know, just little fragments leaving that XTP bullet the entire way. I will pull those couple out of the block and we'll take some measurements. Okay, hopefully you can see that, but what we have here is the 230 grain bullet. Didn't get quite as much expansion, more mass retention, and a little bit more penetration as would expect. And here is that XTP bullet. It's definitely over 0.75. I'd say probably 0.8, maybe. Yeah, maybe, well, it's about probably 0.75 is what I would guess once I get the calibers on it. But that is excellent expansion. Just going to test some practical accuracy. We have the 200 grain. We're going to do 5 shots, see how well we can do with it. Again, testing my accuracy, testing the bullet, testing the gun, all simultaneously. Yeah, I pulled that first one. I mean, the wind moved a 200 grain projectile at 7 yards, low and left. Had nothing to do with me anticipating recoil. Just take a little bit of a zoom in. Yeah, I mean, that is definitely wind, because these other ones are right on, and I'm that kind of shooter. It really helps when the diameter is 0.45, because it looks like they're all touching, versus I shot my 5.7 by 28, it would look like a big group. We have the 230 grain bullet. We're going to test our practical accuracy with that at 7 yards. Ooh, we did have a little bit of a hold up. Failure to feed. That one worked fine. A little bit of anticipation of recoil. Okay, not quite as good a shooting as the first group, and these 230 grain hung up a little bit in this one. So interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Let's maybe shoot some more. All right, let's just go down range, take a look at what the target was doing. Okay, a little bit less of an outlier, all within that 10 ring. 2, 3, 4, 5. A little bit of a shift and maybe impact from the previous one. I also think I was pulling and anticipating recoil. So we have that. By and large, pretty good shooter, but it does concern me a little bit that I was getting that failure to feed on this round. Take a little bit of a look, see at this 230 grain. Look, it has a very, noticeable lip. Now I get it that the 460 Rowland is about a 1/16 of an inch longer, but it shouldn't be. It should be a lot more smoother. I think they've seated these just a little bit too deep. I know you have to seat them deeper for the 45 ACP, but I think that may be one of the reasons I'm having issues with this, and I don't have issues with other ammunition. Here is some 460 Rowland Whisper rounds. These are their 290 grain projectiles. Take a look at that. It's got a shelf. Like, these 460 Rowlands fit much smoother. Maybe it's the crimp or lack of crimp. I don't know what's going on, but I do think that's causing a little bit of the hang up in the gun. So interesting. Now, these Wilson Combat rounds are pretty expensive. I don't expect I will be buying them. I bought them for testing. They were not provided. I said, hey, I've got a new 460 Rowland gun. Who makes 460 Rowland ammunition? Found that Wilson Combat does, who actually, by the way, I didn't know this until recently, owns Lehigh bullets. And so I didn't get that until I recently bought some Lehigh bullets, and they actually shipped from Wilson Combat. So I thought I didn't understand that connection until recently. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about those rounds. Okay, well, today we tested out some Wilson Combat 460 Rowland. We checked out their 230 grain XTP, their 200 grain XTP. We tested velocities. They get close to what they are getting and what they are advertising. Tested in gel. The XTP performed what I believe to be very well and caused some high damage. These rounds aren't really, in my opinion, 460 Rowland spec. I would hope at least 800, hopefully 900, and the target is at the upper end 1,000 energy foot-pounds, and we're around 750 with these rounds. So you get what you get. Also, they look like they are loaded a little bit odd. I do think there's something weird with how they're loading these bullets and the extra length of the 460 Rowland case. You can say from the 460 Rowland bullet themselves versus these Wilson Combat loaded ones, there's like a weird shelf in there, and I think that's causing some loading and issues with the gun. Just had that once while shooting today, though. So let me know what you guys think. I appreciate everyone coming in. Let me know what you guys think about the 460 Rowland. Are you interested? Are you all out? Love to hear your comments in the comment section. Hope everyone has a great week. Hope everyone has a 4th of July. Hope you get your big bores out, and I hope you like big bores. But everyone, let's get to shooting. Have a great week.